Hi, Mr. H here, and we're going to talk about watermelons and seeds. And you may say, well, what's that have to do with writing? And it's a good question. Well, first of all, when you look at a watermelon versus a seed, what's the first thing you notice? Well, the first thing you notice is the size difference. In fact, I made my seed a little big. A real watermelon seed, if this was a real watermelon, would be much smaller than this. So it's a big and small idea, and it's going to help you write. Because if you try to write a watermelon personal narrative, it'll be too big and it'll be too hard to write. So what you want to do is get the idea smaller and smaller and smaller. So you don't want to write the big, huge picture. So, like, for instance, think back, and you don't want to say something like, I went to Disneyland and then write that story, because that story is going to be huge. All the things you did in Disneyland, it's going to be pages and pages and pages. It's going to be a book, a huge book, a thick book. And you don't want to start that with a personal narrative. You want to write about something that the person who's reading your story can get into right away and start saying, hey, this is interesting. I want to get into this. And so think smaller and smaller and smaller. Go all the way down to a single moment. Sure, Disneyland's a great topic to write about, but don't write about the entire day at Disneyland. Write about a single moment in Disneyland. Okay? Or whatever you're writing about. I'm not saying that everybody's writing about Disneyland. So instead of saying, I went to Disneyland, you could say, I went on, pick a ride, Jungle Cruise. Okay. I went on the Jungle Cruise. Already it's smaller. Now you're going to be talking about one ride. What happened on that one ride? What did you do with all the people and things like that? You can still talk about lots of things, but now your idea is focused. Also, the person who's going to read this is going to go, oh, the Jungle Cruise. I know about the Jungle Cruise. I wonder what they saw that I didn't see. What did she see when she went on the Jungle Cruise? So when you write it like this, then the person who's reading it can get into it quicker. If you say, I went to Disneyland, another person might say, yes, I've been to Disneyland too. And then they're going to start thinking about the things they liked. And they're going to go running, and maybe go through your book trying to find something that they like. But if you write, I went on the Jungle Cruise, then it's smaller and people can get into it more. Okay? So, I had a bad day at school. Okay? Not a bad idea, not a bad story. You could talk about your bad day, but why not make it more Specific. Today, I didn't get to ride the tricycles. Okay? That's a watermelon. That's a seed idea. I didn't get to ride the tricycles. Right away, the person who's reading this starts getting into your story. Oh my goodness, they didn't get to ride the tricycles. I had a bad day at school. Could be anything. But this is specific. It's right down to a single idea. And so that's why we want you to think about seeds instead of watermelons. Seeds is that small idea that people can get into. The watermelon is just too big. Okay. All right. Try to use that idea of getting to a specific moment in your personal narrative instead of a big, huge picture that's too big to write about unless you're writing a book. I mean, a novel. And we're not writing novels yet. So, moment, a single moment. All right? Give that a try. All right. I'll see you guys later.